Okay, now we're going to take a look at FakeDB, an open source project being led by Sergey Shuslyapin, if I said that correctly. He's I believe, a product manager in working out of the Sitecore Ukraine office. And what this framework allows you to do is to create unit tests against Sitecore code, but Sitecore code that does not have an isolation layer. You can actually write your Sitecore code the old-fashioned legacy way, where you talk directly to sitecore.context.item, and you can actually, by using statements, you can create fake items that your code interacts with. So let me show you an example of that. Here we have a website, and you see that we have I have a test item, and I have content coming from the home page. And if you actually look at the item itself, you see that the text field is blank, but it's actually coming through on the presentation. And I'm doing that using a little piece of code I wrote using TDD called a cascade field. So here you see I have a sub layout. I define cascade fields for title and text. And what that does is that'll ascend up the tree to try and find where that field is defined if it's not defined or if it's not populated on the current item. So let's take a look at first the implementation of that. So you see it's fairly straightforward. It stores the field name, and then here is talking directly to sitecore.context.item, which is something that, in the glass technique, we would actually be injecting that, and we would not be directly talking to sitecore.context.item. It's a static method, etc., hard to test. Well, actually, we are unit testing against it here. And you see I'm making a recursive call, get value from item or ancestor, and if the field is not populated and the parent is available, then recurse up the tree and keep going until you find it. Okay, how is that actually tested? Let's take a look at the tests I used here. So this is using the FakeDB framework, which, as I mentioned, uses a using statement. And inside the using statement, you declare a database. And in the database, you can create an item, and you can list fields and values. And there's more you can do. You can create templates and so forth. But I just want to give you a flavor of the functionality by just showing a light piece of development that was done with it. So when you create this item, it'll show up under Sitecore content, and then your top level item that you create here will appear after content. And you can assign it to Sitecore context item. So basically, I've now set up Sitecore context item to be this item I've created, and I just want to confirm that my cascade field returns the value I expected. So that's your basic case. And here we can see I've got an actual hierarchy. I have a parent item, and then in addition to listing fields and values, you can list child items inside of the item. So we have a child. This field here, the field doesn't have a value, so we can confirm it gets the parent value. And here I have a test with several layers where I confirm that it gets the ancestor value, so it continues recursing up the tree. And then I have here just a test to prove that it doesn't fall into an infinite regression. If it does not find the value on an item, and that item is a top level item, then it'll return an empty string. So these are unit tests, but they're unit tests that allow you to unit test legacy code or unit test code written in a non-glass classic Sitecore technique with static methods. So this is a pretty impressive piece of development that the FakeDB team has put together, and it's definitely worth a look.